Hey everybody, Douglas V. Gibbs here. Time for another Constitution study video. And we want to talk about Article 1, Section 9, where it says no capitation. The Founding Fathers specifically did not want us to be taxed directly by the federal government. And they indicated so in the U.S. Constitution. So what we see now with the IRS and all of that really is, well, unconstitutional. Now, while I want to focus on Article 1, Section 9, Clause 4, I really want to begin this with Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, because it really sets the table. Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 of the United States Constitution reads, "Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union according to their respective numbers." The sentence continues to explain how the country needed to have a census taken every 10 years, and that the purpose of the census was to determine the population, the respective numbers of each state. Now, this method was not only for figuring out how many members of the House of Representatives each state would get, but also when it came to the taxation, because the taxation was based on, well, the states, they shared the tax. They're the ones that paid the tax. We weren't directly taxed. The states paid the tax. And then the percentage they paid was based on their percentage of the population. So, for example, in today's society, right now with all 50 states, California has 12% of the overall population. So if the old method was being used, California would pay 12% of the budget, or the tax that the federal government needs. What this did is this allowed the states to act as a buffer between us and the federal government. The federal government could not directly tax us. They tax the states, and the states would look at the budget, and they could determine whether or not the budget was constitutional, legitimate, and so on and so forth. So what would happen is sometimes states would say, we're not going to pay this. This is ridiculous. Try again. And so the federal government would be forced to then reassess or re-figure out how they wanted their budget and their federal spending to be. Federal spending remained for the most part constitutional because of that. And so now the direct taxation, federal taxation directly has been attempted a number of times. Matter of fact, during the war between the states, it kept coming up, and the Supreme Court kept striking it down, saying, you know what, that's unconstitutional. You can't do that. Now, the ultimate reason why is Article 1, Section 9, Clause 4, which reads, "No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid, unless in proportion to the census or enumeration hereinbefore directed to be taken." So in other words, it says specifically to the federal government, no direct taxation, period. No capitation. Best way to... Black's Law Dictionary defines capitation tax as a tax or imposition on the person. You've heard of decapitation where you lose your head. Well, capitation is where you keep your head, but you get taxed. Capitation tax. Tax directly imposed on the person. So when you read Article 1, Section 9, Clause 4, what you're reading is a constitutional prohibition, meaning that no federal tax directly on the people or their earnings is allowed. This provision clearly forbids any federal direct tax unless it is levied upon and apportioned among the state governments in proportion to the population of each state, as required in Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, as I discussed earlier. Later on, the 16th Amendment would change that, but even the 16th Amendment really doesn't. It's been misinterpreted. I would be a fan of repealing the 16th Amendment, but even the 16th Amendment really doesn't allow a direct taxation on the wages of the individuals, because it is about income. And your wages, well, they're not income. You are bartering your time for money. Income would be dividends, capital gains, things like that. Anyway, so that's Article 1, Section 9, Clause 4. No capitation. No capitation was allowed originally on purpose because, as Thomas Jefferson said, if you allow the government to directly tax the people, there would be no limit to how much they would tax. All right, thank you for watching, and don't forget that down below, subscribe if you're not subscribed to this page. Also, youtube.com/Douglas V. Gibbs. I'm doing daily dose there, and you can also go to my BitChute, bitchute.com/Douglas V. Gibbs. I have a Rumble channel. I haven't gotten it up yet. Be on the lookout for that. Be sure to subscribe. If you want to help out with the cause, you want to donate, you can go to douglasvgibbs.com or politicalpistachio.com, and you can help there. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.